Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing you another review of another AVI-8 watch. You guys have seen them on the channel before. This is going to be my third one. They're nice enough to keep sending me more watches to take a look at. I get offers all the time from people wanting to send me their watches, but you know, I usually want to review the ones that I actually find somewhat interesting. As you guys know, if you've watched me for quite a while, I do have quite a bit of passion towards airplanes and aviation in general. And AVI-8, obviously, if the name doesn't give it away to you, tends to have a little bit of an aviational flair to their watches, which I definitely appreciate. So, you know, they mentioned this watch and offered to send me one for review, and I said, you know what, I'd like to check it out. So here we go. This is the AVI-8 Heuer Hurricane, but this is actually what they specifically call the Battle of Britain. And it's actually a limited edition series of, as you can see here, if my camera will focus, I have 1199 of 1963. So 1963 is not a year, it's actually the number of airplanes that were involved in the Battle of Britain, which took place in 1940 with the Royal Air Force. Most historians consider the Battle of Britain the first all-airplane fought battle of any real consequence. And so there's some cool aviation history there. I'll be honest and say I don't really know much about it, although that's okay, because if you don't, you can of course always look at the little card that they give you. So you get this nice little plaque, and on the back of it there's some history of the Battle of Britain. I like military history, but I'm more of a ship buff, so if you guys want to ask me about the HMS Hood and the Bismarck and some of those ships or Iowa class battleships, I'm your guy, but fortunately my aviation history is not as strong. But anyway, cool piece. And of course, I'm glad they sent it to me. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So again, Heuer Hurricane, Battle of Britain. I asked for the one to be sent to me in stainless steel. They do offer ones that are plated, but as you guys know, if you watch me, I am not a fan of plated pieces. So what you have here is a stainless steel case. It is 43 millimeters, and the width is 12 millimeters. And so overall, it's a pretty good sized watch. I think it's going to wear on the slightly larger end for those of you with smaller wrists, so this is probably the upper edge of what you'd want to wear, but still it's comfortable. And for someone like me, I have a 7-inch wrist and I'm 6'3". I think this is the sweet spot of the right size watch for me. So as you tend to notice on a lot of AVI-8 watches, I think the one thing that they're kind of known for is complexity on the dials. And something I appreciate, if you guys caught my review earlier this year of the Pegasus concept, which you can see here, this thing has a lot of different, shapes going on and depth of the dial. Again, you're seeing some of that here, so you might be able to see in the center, and apologize for the glare here, on the sapphire crystal, by the way, which is nice. You'll actually see there's a 3D raised propeller on the center there, which is pretty cool. This goes back again to 1940, so the planes that flew in the Battle of Britain would have been prop aircraft. So nice little vintage nod, and I have to say too, as a vintage aircraft enthusiast to a degree, although like I said, I know ships much better, the overall layout and look at the dial does remind me of some vintage avionics from old fighters. The other thing it reminded me of, being a massive car guy, is Smith's gauges that you used to find in British sports cars like Jaguars. So, I mean, I think of like the Jaguar XK120s and some of that era too. They're definitely, I really don't know if it's the typography or just the overall way it's laid out with the Arabic numerals, but it does actually, feel a little bit vintage to me. I definitely can see some throwbacks to vintage aircraft, and I can definitely feel, some throwbacks to the old British sports cars as well. So up here at 12, you get AVI-8 Heuer Hurricane automatic. Down here at 6 o'clock is actually the date. So this uses a derivative of a Miyota movement. Now, I couldn't see in details exactly which one this is. However, I'm going to go out on a limb here and make the guess that this is a Miyota 8215 movement. Apologies, my focus is being a little annoying today. So as you can see on the case back, they've done a nice job of doing some actually pretty good engraving here. It says Heuer Hurricane, but the movement, if you guys are familiar with Miyota movements, should look basically familiar to you. So apart from this actually pretty nice rotor that they did, the basic architecture below, to me, looks spot on of an 8215 movement. And given the way this watch has been behaving, I would be surprised if that's not the movement that's in this watch. I do appreciate they put a bespoke rotor on it, but as this is an 8215 movement, you definitely have the common features associated with an 8215. So I'm assuming again this is an 8215, there is no hacking. So if I pull the crown all the way out, it keeps ticking. And so I can go ahead and just adjust the time and the watch will keep running. And now we've exposed our little date window down here. Second position with the 8215s and with this watch is going to change the date. And I apologize, my focus is being really annoying today. So as you can see, first, second, third, fourth, I can change the date. And first position is winding on this guy. Now, I definitely know this is a Miyota movement regardless, and I believe they even mentioned on the website because, so I can get it to act up. So that the second hand is kind of like getting kind of chunky, and let's see if we'll do it here. It'll start stuttering a little bit. You can also see a little bit of the anti-reflective coating on the sapphire here go, which is really nice. But the 8215 does not have a direct seconds feature, so the second hand sometimes is notorious for acting up, and this watch has definitely been doing that for me, where you'll see a stutter of the seconds hand. And again, there it goes. It'll kind of start skipping and doing some erratic behavior. I don't know if the camera was really picking up on it here, but that's a notorious hallmark of the 8215 that I've called out in some of my other videos. But I mean, the 8215 is a good movement. It's 21 joule. It's about 21,000 beats per hour, and it keeps okay time. I'd say plus or minus 20 seconds, I believe, is about average for how they leave the factory. But it's a really reliable movement, and it's something that obviously would power this watch as a good companion for probably a good 20 years or more without really much needed for service. You're also seeing they did a nice job of doing this like yellow call out with a shape of a plane on the seconds hand, and you also get the yellow on the tip of the hour and the minute hand as well. And there is a little bit of lume as well as the hour and the minute hands as well. So it's got some cool little call outs, as you can see now that the light's coming in here a little bit better. I think it's a pretty sexy looking dial. And while I would say that the movement is average at best, I would say the rest of the watch is done pretty well. The complexity of the dial, as you can see, at least I think, is very well executed. I like the different depths. I like the called out of the propeller there. The crown here with a little RAF logo on it. I like the shape of it. I like the feel of it. It has a traditional gritty feel of a Miyota movement, but that's okay. RFD here on the side. It comes on a strap here, as you can see. It says AVI-8 genuine leather. Genuine leather is the lowest grade of leather, but the strap should serve you well for a little while. It's a NATO style, so I took it off to show you, of course, the movement, which now you can see better lit, which is nice. But I do like the way these straps work. You thread it under, and then there is a safety here. You slide through this loop, and it straps tighter into place. And it has a double loop through a buckle. Now the watch did come with two straps. You also get this blue NATO, which is also pretty nice. As you can see, I threw it on the other AVI-8 they sent me, the Pegasus concept. Very nice strap. But overall, I mean, this is a pretty decent watch. So retail on this is about 433-ish euros, somewhere about there. And you know, you're getting a really nicely complex style dial. It is, of course, a limited edition. You are getting some contrast here between polish and brush. It's not quite Seiko level, but it's tasteful. And of course, you're getting sapphire crystal, and they did some nice engraving on the case back, and they customized the rotor. But I mean, the fact that you're getting a sapphire crystal at this price point itself is reasonably rare. And you're getting anti-reflective crystal as well is nice. So overall, guys, I actually do like this watch quite a bit. If they threw a 9 series or 9000 series Miyota movement in this watch, I would say this would be, if you like the style, a must buy. As it is an 8215, I still think it's a decent value. And I think if it speaks to you, it may be something you find interesting. Let me go ahead and throw it on the wrist here real quick. Again, I have a 7-inch wrist. And as you can see, I mean, if I was rolling around in a vintage 50s sports car, especially an old Jaguar, or even like an MG or a Triumph, this watch would not look out of place. And I could definitely see this in a vintage airplane cockpit as well. It's got some cool style. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. AVI-8, thank you for sending me another watch to check out. I know I haven't been around very often much anymore, guys. Apologize about that. Traveling is sucking my energy, but I'll be on here as often as I can. Let me know what you guys think below. Please leave comments and let me know if this is something you guys would consider, what you like about it, what you would change. I'm sure AVI-8 would find that helpful as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. That way we can always catch each other in the next video, and if you click the bell icon, every time I put a new video out, you'll get notified about it. And of course, please check out my channel for other content related to watches. I review everything from things like this to high-end Rolexes and Patek Philippe. So you guys let me know in the comments below how you feel, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you so much.